All right, guys, welcome. This is take 2 of the 5 steps to wholesaling real estate. I did this this training on, I believe it was either Tuesday or Wednesday night, and I had some issues with my audio. So if you guys can all hear me before we start, let me know. Type in the chat where you're from and that you can hear me. And we'll get started here in just a second. Also, I'm very curious to know where everybody's from and where they're watching from. Curious to see if you guys are in the Midwest or out on the coast. So if you can hear me, over in the chat, type in where you guys are from. And again, I want to make sure that I can hear everybody. All right, here we go. It looks like yes, you can hear me. You can hear me good. From Mobile, Alabama. KC, Mo, love Kansas City, Missouri, great area. We got Illinois. Got St. Louis, Mo in the group. Hello. That's my hometown. That's right. Okay, cool. So you guys can hear me. That's all I need. Now, I'm on vacation right now. I just skied today with my wife. I got to ski yesterday. And I got to ski the day before, and I'm actually at a hotel, and I kind of took control of a ballroom. So I got to keep this short, guys. I'm going to do my best to keep this around 40 to 45 minutes, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to break down the 5 simple steps to wholesaling real estate. Okay, we got somebody from Croatia, we got New Jersey, and it looks like we got Macomb, Michigan as well. Very cool. People from all over, Malaysia, Rochester, New York. Oh man, this is awesome. Okay, before we get started, guys. Oh no, all my stuff is going out of here. That's okay. Let me add in my slides real quick, and then we're gonna jump in. 5 steps. This will only take about 30 seconds, so bear with me. I had this all preloaded, but then I had to leave my room and couldn't find a ballroom. You guys know how it is whenever you're traveling. You gotta make do with what you got. All right, this is saying about 1 minute here. So in the meantime, I had a poll set up for you guys. Let me see if I can redo this. Any deals? I'm curious, have you guys done any deals? So we'll put a couple options in here. I can go ahead and take this poll because I'm really curious where you guys all stack up. Have you guys done any deals? No, not yet. Yes, a few, or yes, a ton. And this will help me with the training guides. So if you don't mind taking this little short survey while these slides are loading, I'd appreciate that. And the slides are ready to go. So it looks like the majority of the folks on this webinar tonight have not done a wholesale deal. And that's great because I love teaching people about wholesaling and how simple this business is and how simple it can be. All right, so it looks like 100% of people on here have not done a deal yet. I love it. We are going to learn all about that tonight. Okay, slides are ready to go, and we're going to start. We're going to jump right on in. All right, so tonight's presentation, this free training, again, and this is going to be about the 5 simple steps to closing your first wholesale deal. All right, now we're going to keep it simple. And we're going to get this done in about 35 to 40 minutes here, all right? Now, before we jump in, I want to talk about a couple things here real quick. 1, wholesaling real estate is a marketing business, okay? This is not really an investing business. It's a marketing business. It's truly what it is, okay? Now, myself, my partners, Mike and I, we've done 600 plus deals to date. And of course, we're going to cherry pick the best deals that we get and go rehab those ourselves and flip them, or, get them rented and rehabbed and refied and add to our portfolio of rentals, all of the above. We're going to do all these things. But when it comes to finding deals, right, that's all about marketing. Okay. So you're going to hear people say, and you're often going to hear me say, that you don't need a lot of money to do deals, right? You can do deals with little to no money. And that's absolutely 100% true, okay? I don't want anyone to be deterred, okay? You can do deals with little to no money. Now the catch is, and I'm gonna lead with this, I'm not trying to hide this from anybody, The catch is that you are going to have to spend time and money in order to find these leads, find these deals. Now, once you get the deal, I don't care if the deal's $50,000, $200,000, $700,000. It doesn't matter. Often we're able to flip contracts, right? We're able to get these properties under contract for maybe $10, often $100. It's rare that I'll put up more than $100 on a deal, and we'll be able to get control of the deal, and we'll be able to flip that deal, right? So basically you're talking about $100 is what's needed to get into a contract to flip that deal, okay? But the thing is getting the lead, getting the deal isn't always going to be easy. All right. Now you're going to hear me say that this business is incredibly simple. You're going to hear me say that a lot. And it is. That's 100% the truth. It is incredibly simple, but it's not always easy. You got to work really hard to find those deals. Okay. So I just want to make that very clear. Number one, this is a marketing business. All right. If you want to learn how to flip houses with little to no money, you have to learn how to get good at marketing. And the marketing part of it is the hard part, right? It's not necessarily easy. It's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to be challenging. But the coolest thing is when you stumble across these deals from all these efforts that you're putting in, you're going to be able to close these deals and cash checks for $5, $10, $30,000. We've done deals for $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, then a $110,000 deal. And we've done one for like $280,000 to date, right? So we love flipping contracts, but we work really, really hard at the marketing. Okay, now that I've got that out of my system, let's jump right on in, guys. We're going to start this right here. So 5 steps to doing and closing your first wholesale deal. All right. So a little bit about me before we jump in. If you don't already know, I'm David Dodge. I'm the discount property investor. I'm located out of St. Louis, Missouri, and I invest in the surrounding areas. I just prefer to invest where I'm at because I'm in a pretty decent market in terms of cost, right? Our cost of living is low, and we're able to get properties at pretty good deals. So I'm not really doing a whole lot of virtuals, but we do that from time to time. I typically buy about 100 houses a year with my team. That's not me alone. I surround myself with great people and have built a great team, right? So my team and I, we buy about 100 houses a year. Currently own about 40 rental properties to date. Had about 75 this time a year ago, but the market's so crazy. So, we decided to take some chips off the table. And literally I've closed over 600 wholesale deals to date. And this is a live training done on Sunday, March 14th here, right? I typically have 2 to 3 flips going at any given time. And again, that's with my team, right? And I love teaching people how simple it is to flip houses. All right, I didn't say easy, I said simple. I want to make that very clear. Anything that's going to give you a $20,000, $30,000 check, it's not going to necessarily be easy, but the process is incredibly simple, guys. And we can teach you how to make it easier. Okay. The only thing that I would suggest is go follow me over on Instagram. We put out some great content every single day, and I love that platform. All right, moving on. This is about the 5 steps to closing your first wholesale deal. And these steps are so simple. You're going to hear me say this word so many times, simple. All right. Step 1, you're going to market for motivated sellers. I told you a minute ago, this is the marketing business, right? So that's where it all starts. Like that's literally where it all starts. If we're going to go try to add 20 rentals to our portfolio over the next, 6 to 8 months, or if we're looking to do 3 to 5 flips, none of that really matters. That's just our goal, right? That's our exit. But unless we have a deal, it doesn't make sense to just go buy a random property. Okay. So market for these motivated sellers. It's very, very important. Of the 100 houses that we bought last year, my team and I, and the year before, like maybe between 3 and 5 out of 100 were on market deals, meaning they were listed with a real estate agent and they were on market. It's a very, very low percent. And most of these are just pocket listings, or it's from networking and we know somebody that's interested in selling even though it's listed. It's just very rare. So we do our best to try to find these deals that are off market, okay? So step 1 is market for these motivated sellers. You got to learn how to market, all right? Step 2, you're going to make a ton of offers and you're going to get properties under contract. And that's basically what you do to gain control, okay, of a deal. We're not necessarily buying houses and then selling houses, because that would require us to come up with a ton of money every time that we found something. Instead, we're going to use paperwork. All right, that's the coolest part about wholesaling, is we're going to use paperwork, and we're going to gain control of an asset, of a piece of property. And then we're going to basically sell that option to buy it, right? Or we're going to find a buyer and we're going to line it up on the same day, and we're going to get to that down the road here, okay? But we're basically flipping paperwork. This business is about marketing and it's about control, all right? Step 3 is we're going to start evaluating these deals once we get them under contract, okay? And you would think that would be like before step 2, right? You would think that you would want to go crazy and evaluate a deal before you like make an offer on it. But that's not the business that we're in. Our business is getting control and then evaluating the deal. So of course we're going to run some simple evaluations, but I'm talking maybe 3 to 5 minutes before we send an offer. That's it. But once we get a property under contract, then we're going to go spend 20 or 30 minutes really diving deep and evaluating that deal. Okay, determining our ARV, determining our repairs. And that might mean go make an appointment, run the appointment. We really like to get those offers out before we even view properties, because it again helps us determine the motivation. Step 4, market your deal and find a cash buyer. And this is probably like the most fun part. And if you have a deal, it's literally the easiest part of these 5 steps. Okay. And number 5, you're going to locate a title company or a closing attorney, and you're going to coordinate the closing. And that's it. That's the 5 steps that we take to do a wholesale deal. And we're doing several of these a month. Sometimes we'll do several a week. We love wholesaling. Okay. Now I want to be very clear. Wholesaling is a marketing business. I said that earlier. But to me, it's also a means to an end, because my goal isn't to just wholesale more and more properties, even though I love getting $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 checks once a week, right? That's amazing. But really the goal for me is to get more rental properties and just find those fun ones that I can fix and flip with my team. And all of this along the entire way builds wealth. But none of these options are really possible without finding deals. And that's where the marketing comes in. I cannot stress this enough. The marketing is what it all begins with. For no matter, and again, this isn't even if you don't even want to be a wholesaler, guys, right? Let's say that you're just really, really interested in fixing and flipping or being a landlord. All right. Yes, you can do those by finding on-market properties, but your margins are going to be thin. It's not going to be that fun because you're not going to be making that much money or building that much equity. But when you find sellers off-market that are motivated, and you can get in there and you can offer them convenience in exchange for a discount, you're going to be able to get a great deal on a piece of property. And in exchange, like I said, it's a means to an end. In exchange, you can wholesale that deal or you can cherry pick that deal and keep it, right? To then add to the portfolio of rentals or fix and flip or so on and so forth. So let's jump in and break down each of these steps, guys. Let me take a quick minute and monitor my chat, because last time I lost my audio and I learned a valuable lesson. Okay, cool. So we got a couple other people that have joined. Looks like New Jersey, Missouri, Lancaster, and Dallas. Hell yeah, I love it, guys. This is awesome. Okay, next slide. Oh, no, we just did that already. Step 1, marketing for motivated sellers. Again, this is where it all starts, right? No matter what. So I first want you guys to eliminate the scarcity mindset, okay? There are plenty of deals out there. All right. Literally at any given time, there's roughly about 4% of households that are motivated to sell. 4%. So, in my market, there's probably 250,000 houses, give or take. So that means at any given time, there's, 6,000, 7,000 people that are motivated to sell. And you just got to find those people on the right day when they are motivated. Okay. There's tons of these deals out there. How else would I be able to buy 100 houses a year, most of them being off market, if there weren't motivated sellers all over the place? Okay, they're easy to find if you are marketing for them and to them. Okay, if people know that you are in the business of buying houses quick, as is, and for cash, that's it. That's all we really got as investors. Okay, if they know that, when they're ready to sell it quick, as is, and or for cash, who do you think they're going to call? They're not going to go look in the phone book. They're going to know that you do this. So if you are interested in becoming a wholesaler, don't keep your business a secret. All right? You can't be a low-key successful wholesaler. You got to tell the world that you're in the business of buying houses and you love the ones that need a ton of work. Those are the best ones, right? So don't keep your business a secret. It's so incredibly important. Okay, so you got to start marketing your business as soon as possible. All right, there's a couple different ways to go about marketing your business. Actually, we have a course on this. It's 50 ways to find deals, 50 plus ways. But we're going to talk about a couple of them just real quick here, right? So free. Mention on Facebook that you buy houses to your entire network. I mean, that's literally where it starts, in my opinion. Start with your network, your friends, your family, because they may know people that you don't know. The odds are they do know people that you don't know. So start getting your business out there. You can make posts. So then there's some inexpensive ways here, right? You can go out and put up bandit signs in your local neighborhood that say we buy houses, or you can post in your local classifieds like your local paper or local coupon book. I mean, these are very, very inexpensive ways to go about marketing your business. And again, your business is just buying houses. It's that simple. Like you want to become an investor. So the best way to do that is to market to find these deals. And when you get them, you don't have to keep them. You can wholesale them. It's the coolest thing ever. All right. The next inexpensive way would be to cold call or cold SMS or this isn't just or all of these drive for dollars. And I actually do all three of these right now. We cold call, we cold SMS daily, except for Sundays. And we're driving for dollars 6 days a week. My team and I, we love doing these ways. Next, it's a little bit more costly, but it makes for a really, really qualified lead, a good lead. It's direct mail or pay-per-click advertising, any sort of online marketing where somebody can type in that they're looking for your business and you come up, or that they just see in their feed. Now, typically these ones that are more costly, and you'll notice that it goes C1, C2, C3, C4, so it goes down as more costly. Typically, the ones that are more costly are going to give you a higher quality lead. Somebody may go into Google and type in sell my house tomorrow, St. Louis, Missouri, which is my market, and my site comes up and it's like, that is the most targeted lead ever. Whereas a cold call, you're calling somebody that might not even be interested in selling and putting out a bandit sign. You're just putting a sign in the yard and hoping that somebody calls, right? So the more costly the leads are, the better quality they're going to be. But here's the thing. We do all of this. We put out bandit signs to this day. We're posting in classifieds. We're cold calling. We're cold SMS. We're driving for dollars. We're sending direct mail. We're doing pay-per-click advertising. So the more you spend, the higher quality lead you're going to receive. So again, this is the part right here, guys, that is going to be time consuming and it's going to cost you money, right? You bring me a house that's $1 million at a good deal, and I'm going to lock that property up, assuming the seller is okay with me putting up $100 in earnest money. Typically, it's not a huge deal, and and it's a good deal. I can sell that property for $100 out of my pocket, but finding that person is going to take some time. So I want to lead with that. I don't want to mislead anybody at all. Can you flip houses with little to no money? Yes, but that's only if you have a deal, right? A good lead on a property or a seller that is extremely motivated, that is going to give you a discount on that deal in exchange for convenience, guys. It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay, so after we market and we find ourselves a motivated seller, step 2 is we're going to make a ton of offers and we're going to get those properties under contract. We're going to gain control of these properties. And we're going to offer on every single call or lead that we get, no matter what. We're going to make verbal offers. We're going to make written offers. We're going to make offers to people that don't even have phones, and we're going to mail them to them. We're going to make offers however we can. If somebody has a fax machine and they want to give me a fax number, I'll fax them an offer. I mean, any way that I can get an offer to somebody, I'm going to make offers. And our goal is to make several offers every single day. Some days we'll get 5, 6 offers out. It's great. But in order to get a deal that you can sell, you have to have control. So look at it this way, guys. If you don't have anything in your inventory, you don't have anything to sell. You can't make money wholesaling without having something under control, under contract. You have to have control, right? It's the most fundamental thing. So a lot of people will get started in this business, right? And maybe they even start doing some drive for dollars or some direct mail or some bandit signs and start to kind of get those wheels spinning on this whole marketing business, right? But then once they get a lead that comes in, they don't make an offer, and it's the stupidest thing ever. You spent all this time and energy and money to market your business, and then a lead comes in, you need to make that offer. Excuse me. All right, having fun here tonight, having fun. Okay, so you gotta make those offers on every single property that comes in. And if you don't make an offer, you're never gonna get a property under contract, guys. It's that simple. And if you don't have a property under contract, you can't sell it, or the ability to buy it. You can't do it. It's impossible. So you gotta make offers. And there's plenty of leads out there on Zillow or Craigslist for sale by owner or rentals, all right? So the easiest way to get started in this business, and this is what I did, is go on Zillow or Craigslist or now Facebook Marketplace and find people that have properties for sale and call them up. And the next says that if you don't know what to offer, then ask what the least they would take for it and offer like 50 to 75% of that number just to feel them out for motivation. All right, doesn't mean you're going to necessarily pay that number, but you got to start making offers and you got to anchor low. You got to make these offers low. But anyway, you can go on Zillow or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, find people that are selling their home and call them and make an offer to them. Or find people that have properties for rent and you can call them and you can just say, hey, Mr. Seller, you know, this is Dave. I see that you have this property on Craigslist and it's for lease. You know, I'm a local investor. I'm not actually calling today because I'm interested in leasing. I just wanted to see if you had any interest in selling the property today. And sometimes people are going to be motivated. They're going to be tired of being a landlord. And they're going to say, yeah, come over and view it. Make me an offer. I've been ready to sell this thing for 10 years, right? You just got to make those calls. You got to get out there and tell people about your business. All right, moving on. E, follow up on those offers, guys. You can't just send an offer and just, you know, just sleep on it and just expect somebody to sign it and send it back to you. You got to call them and email them after you send it and say, did you get it? What'd you think about it? Where do we stand? How far off is your asking price from where my offer's at? And just make a friend. You got to follow up. And then you got to keep following up. And you can do some more follow-up after that. This business is extremely important to have good follow-up in. It's simple. It's not hard to do. You just can't be lazy, right? You got to keep following up. So we're going to talk about a couple of little statistics here real quick before we move on, because follow-up is so incredibly important, guys. So the average deal takes us 4 to 6 months. You know, that's basically what it takes the average deal to come in, from the time that we make first contact with the seller to the time that we're actually going to be able to buy and sell that property, hopefully on the same day, and get paid on it, right? 4 to 6 months. And the reason is when we first initially make contact with somebody, they're not really that motivated. But what we're going to do is we're going to keep following up with them until they're motivated enough to accept our offer or consider selling to us at a discount, right? So half of salespeople never follow up, man. Come on, half of people? 25% of people make a second contact, so they follow up one time. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts, so that's 2 follow-ups. And only 10% of salespeople will make more than those 3 contacts, right? That's it. That's only 10%. So let's look at the probability of getting a sale. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. Half people, they're gone. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 3/4 of the people, they're gone. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 82% of people, they're gone. Now, I don't really like those odds. 2%, 3%, 5%. Those odds are shit. Pardon my language, but those are terrible odds, right? 10% of sales, hey, that's not too bad. 4th contact. And 80%, guys, are between the 5th and the 12th contact. So if you can take away anything from this webinar, anything at all, you gotta be persistent, okay? You gotta follow up with people, because they're not necessarily gonna reach out to you and just say, hey, come buy my house from me for 70 cents on the dollar, which is, you know, almost more than I'm willing to pay for most properties, right? So you gotta get good at the follow-up. Okay, very, very important. Can't stress that enough. Step 3, evaluate the deal. Now, this is what we're gonna do after we're gonna make a ton of offers, all right? We're making these offers low And these offers don't necessarily have to be all in writing. They need to be verbal at a minimum. And if you offer somebody between 50 and 70 cents of their asking price on the dollar and or of, what you think that this property might be worth in the end, and they say yes, well, they're motivated. That's a deal. Then go to town evaluating it, right? So we're going to start with our ARV. We're going to find comparable properties in an area online that have sold recently. All right. I love using PropStream. I love using batch leads. If you don't have the local MLS, I'd highly recommend one of these two services and softwares because they're going to give you nationwide access to running those comps. So the ARV is actually kind of funny because it's the after repair value. It's not the value today, right? We're solving for that value. That's kind of how we go about evaluating the deal. What would be a good offer for me as an investor to make to be profitable? Well, I need to start with the after repair value. So I got to look at this property and I got to think to myself, man, if I fix this place up real nice, it would be worth a good amount, right? What would that number be? That's where you start every single time. And again, I think a lot of people, they struggle with this, okay? So you're going to find that by running comps. You're going to find comparable properties that have sold in the area very recently and very close to where your property's at that you're comping. And you're going to look at the conditions and the sizes and the square footage and the beds and the baths, and you're going to determine what you think a good ARV is. And it's not hard to do. We can do this typically in about 5 or 10 minutes. Next, we're going to determine our cost of repairs and our fee. I typically like to make $10,000 on a deal, right? I think our average right now is about $7,800. So we're a little shy of that, but I'm never going to start low. I might even add a $15,000 wholesale fee, right? Determining our repairs is going to be done by going and visiting the property or sending somebody out to visit the property or having the seller walk around on FaceTime with you, showing you the property or sending you 50 pictures of the property from every different angle, right? You're going to be able to determine those costs of repairs by seeing it. And if you don't know how to do that, and it's going to be something you're going to learn over time, but you're just going to have a contractor meet you out at these properties or send them out or let them look at the pictures, and they're going to be able to give you a really good understanding of what those repairs are going to be. All right, where are we at? 628 here? Okay, cool. We're doing good on time. Next, we're going to determine our ARV and multiply that by our discount rate. Then subtract the repairs, then subtract the fee, and this is what your max offer should be. So I'm going to break that down. So your local discount rate for investors to be considered what is, typically it's 70%. It can be as low as 20%. And in my market, we'll even go as high as 80%. But if you don't know what your discount rate is, just go to 70%. And the reason that 70% is kind of the rule of thumb is because it's typically going to cost about 10% to sell a property. A little less than that, usually about 8 or 9%. Just round up, about 10%. And you want to make 20%. Come on, you're an investor now, right? You want to make 20% on this deal. I wouldn't have it any less. So you have to discount this property by 70%. And again, that's a sliding scale. In the best, craziest neighborhoods where it's very, very competitive, I'd be willing to pay a little more. But there'll be places around town that I don't even want to buy in, and I'll bring my discount rate down to 0.2 or 0.3. So 20 or 30%, right? Just way low. But again, if you don't know, keep it simple. 70% works. So C2, MAO formula. This is the formula that we use to make offers on every single house we buy. Period. It is not rocket science, guys. This is it. This is the secret. So we're going to be solving for our MAO, which stands for our maximum allowable offer. That's what this formula is. It's our maximum allowable offer formula. So how do we determine our maximum allowable offer? Well, we take our ARV, we multiply that by 0.7. I missed my little multiple symbol in there, but you're going to multiply it by 0.7 or 70%. Then take off your repairs, then take off your fee. You don't take off the repairs of the fee first. You want to build in your cost of selling it and your profit, and then take those repairs off, and then take that fee off. So depending on what those numbers are, you're going to get an MAO. Now, you're never going to make that offer at that number. Why? Well, because that's the maximum allowable offer. That's the most you're willing to pay. And if it takes you 4 or 5 or 6 months to finally get up to that number with a seller, then so be it. You never, ever, ever want to lead with your MAO. So let's just do a quick, super quick example. All right, we find a property and it has a $100,000 ARV. Once we fix this place up, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be worth $100,000. All right, so I'm going to type this into my little calculator here, 100,000. That's our ARV. We're going to multiply that by 0.7, guys, 70%. That gives us $70,000, right? Next, we're going to take off our repairs. So in order to get it to be worth 100, let's say we have to put $15,000 into fixing it up. So 70 minus 15 puts us at 55. Now we want to make at least 10,000 on this deal. So we're going to take 55 minus 10,000. That puts us at 45,000. So in this scenario, our MAO is 45,000, but we're not going to offer 45,000. That would be crazy, Dave. Nobody's going to do that. We're going to start at 38 or 40,000. And over time, we're going to have that wiggle room, that negotiating ability to come up a little bit. Nobody wants to do business with somebody that says, my first offer is my best offer. And if you want me to make another offer, it's going to be lower. No one's going to do deals with that guy. The guy's an ass, right? You got to have the ability to negotiate up, but a little bit, all right? And here's really the secret, guys. A seller's going to have a number here, and I'm going to offer here. It doesn't matter what these numbers are. Could be 700 grand, could be 60,000, doesn't matter. They want this, and I'm going to come in here. And my goal is to get them to come way down and I'll come up a little bit, right? And that's going to be a great deal, okay? That's how we're able to get good deals. Now, why would somebody come from here all the way to here? And the reason is because you have a ton of value. You have a ton of value. You offer the ability to be quick. And I didn't do this earlier, but let's jump into this just for a quick second. Typical real estate transactions, guys, they take 4 to 5 months. You know, you got to clean the house up. You got to do some repairs. Your agent comes over and they say, keep cleaning. Then they come back and they get the thing listed. And it may or may not sell right away. In the current market we're in, it probably will. But this is an anomaly, right? Typically, though, a property is going to sit on the market for a little while. And even if they get an offer right away, within the first week or two, right? That offer is typically going to have inspection contingencies and financing contingencies. And they're going to want to inspect. And then they're going to send their inspector out. And that inspector is going to give you a 65-page report, all right? And then they're going to say, fix all that stuff or give me a $5,000 discount. Happens every time. Not always 5,000, something. And then the banks are going to get involved because most people aren't buying properties cash, right? And then they're going to need another 30 days or 45 days for the bank. It just takes time. Real estate's not very liquid. However, investors make it liquid. And that's the value that we have. So if I were to summarize this into 3 key points, we have the ability to help people by paying cash, which eliminates the financing contingencies over time, which typically is 1 to 2 months. We have the ability to buy properties as is. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, do not paint, do not clean, do not declutter. You leave behind what you don't want to take. And that sometimes is the most valuable thing for certain people, right? So cash, as is. And then the last thing is speed. It's quick. And when I say quick, I'm not saying like 3 days or 7 days. Like, yeah, of course we can do deals in that amount of time if we can get them for 30 cents on the dollar. But if we're going to get a deal at, 70 cents on the dollar, quick really means, like 2, maybe 3, sometimes even 4 weeks. That is extremely quick compared to the alternative of 4 months, guys. So that's what we do, right? We exchange all these conveniences for discounts. Now, you have value. So let's circle back to that. If a seller has a property that they're willing to give you a 5% discount on, woohoo, whip-de-doo, 5%, right? I'm typically looking for 30 to 40% discounts, right? And they're saying, I'll give you a 5% discount. Well, then all you're going to do is you're going to start pulling back all your conveniences. They're not willing to play ball, so why are you? So what we do as investors is we say, okay, cool, yeah, we could probably do that. It's going to take us 3 months to close. We're going to need a month of inspections, and we're going to bring in our hard money lender, and that's going to add another 3 weeks to close, right? Perfect. You want convenience? You got to give me a discount. So if somebody comes in, they say, I'm going to give you a 30% discount on this property. Well, guess what? I'm going to drop everything I'm doing. I'm going to drive over there to their house right away and meet them and just say, what day do you want to close? I'm going to make it work. You want to close next Tuesday? Consider it done. And if you want to leave all this stuff and crap behind, cool. I'm going to open up those floodgates of convenience to those who are willing to exchange the discount. It's that simple. So if they're willing to give you a little discount, give them a little convenience. They may not bite. If they're willing to give you a good amount of a discount, then you need to provide them a good amount of convenience, guys. It's that simple, literally, okay? That's the whole thing. That's it. That's like the only thing that we have is the ability to make somebody's life easy. But in exchange, we're going to do it for profit, right? So we got to get a discount. All right, keep it moving here. We're at 636 here. All right, so we're never going to start at RMAO. We're going to start below, as this is the most that we are willing to offer. That's the third step. The fourth step, and again, I think this is probably the most fun step, is we're going to market your deal and find a cash buyer. So we've already assumed at this point that you've done a bunch of step one. You've marketed to all these motivated sellers out there, and you didn't keep your business a secret. You told everybody. And you said, I'm looking to buy properties. And if you know of anybody that's looking, to sell a property, let me know. I want to go over and view it, and I want to make an offer on it, right? In step two, we have made a ton of offers, right? And we hopefully got one under contract. In step three, we evaluated it. We determined if that offer that we made was a good deal or not. And if not, we're going to go back and we're going to negotiate down. We're going to use our inspection period to go and inspect the property. If we need to bring a contractor, we will. But at this point, we have control of a property. We have a contract signed, okay? And again, you can't even get to this step. Like I was saying earlier, you can't even get to this step without having control of something. You got to have inventory. So this step requires you to take the first three. It's literally in order. But once you get yourself a property under contract, this is where it gets fun, guys. We're going to post it on the Facebook marketplace, in the local Facebook groups. We're going to post it online classifieds like the Craigslist. We're going to use Zillow in the event that the seller is okay letting us. But if they don't know that we're wholesaling, we're going to probably avoid that one, right? We're going to post on the eBay classifieds. We're going to go to all our local real estate investment clubs, our REIAs, and we're going to network with other investors. And we're going to go to meetup.com and we're going to find these meetup clubs. And we're going to bring our deals with us to these groups. And we're going to tell people that we have these deals. We can't keep this a secret. We have to sell it. And we're going to call investors that we know that may be interested. And if we have a buyer's list already, we're going to email that list. We're going to text that list out. And we're going to say, I got this crazy hot deal over in this zip code. You need to see this right away. Okay? And we're going to market this deal. And it really becomes fun and easy whenever you get a high-powered CRM to help you out. All right? REI Black Book is what we use for all of our dispositions. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal, right? So we're going to use a CRM to keep track of these sellers and these buyers. It also helps with a follow-up, of course, because you can automate it. But that's it. We're going to do the same thing we did to find deals, but now we're going to reverse it. So do you guys see how this is a marketing business? We're going to market to find these deals. And then we're going to market to sell these deals. It's all marketing all the time. And once you start getting contracts rolling in, you got to keep that seller marketing going while you're all of a sudden now marketing these deals. But the coolest part is you're going to get $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 checks. It's amazing. This is the marketing business. I cannot stress this enough to you guys. Okay. All right. That's step number 4. It's the most fun because I almost forgot the coolest part. It's the most fun because people are going to start reaching out to you and you start doing this marketing. They're going to say, oh, I like this deal. Can I go view it? And if it's vacant, you can give them a lockbox. And if it's occupied, I always get this question. Well, Dave, what do you do if it's occupied? Well, then you call the tenant or the property manager and you schedule time to walk through it. How else are you going to view it? Come on, guys. It's not rocket science here. Got to get back in it. Got to get in it. Especially if you are going to buy it. It's so easy to justify to a seller like, hey, if I'm going to buy your property, I need to see it. I need to be able to tour it. I need to be able to inspect it, right? Not a big deal. But you're going to have people reaching out. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have a guy say, man, I want to make an offer on this one. And you may have a contract on a house for $150,000, and they say, I'm willing to pay $170,000. because maybe you were marketing it at 180 or 190. And you're like, ooh, 170, oh, I don't know. Could you do 175? And they say, nope, but I can do 173. And you're paying 150, you just made $23,000. Not yet, but on paper. Okay? So how do we get paid? That's the fifth step. It's so simple. So the fifth step, and again, I keep saying simple. This business is incredibly simple. It's not necessarily easy. You have to work hard for these deals, guys. Nothing in life comes from without doing hard work that's worth it. I promise you that. Okay. Step 5, we're going to locate a title company or a closing attorney, and we're going to coordinate this closing. And it depends on where you live. I think that there's like maybe 30 states that are title company states in the US, and there's about 20 states that are attorney states, and some of those states will allow you to do both. Just figure out, how people are doing deals in your local market. And if you see title companies, like for me, I can't drive 3 miles without seeing 5 of them in my city. They're everywhere. Title companies typically are pretty easy, but again, closing attorneys can get this done for you too. So you're going to Google title companies in your area. Literally, go type in title companies in Baltimore, Phoenix, Detroit, St. Louis, and hit enter. And boom, they're going to pop up, and you're going to start calling these title companies, guys. You're going to ask them if they know what a double close is, and if they work with investors, and ask them if they do a lot of assignment deals. And if they say no, what are those? Then hang up the phone and call the next guy. And the goal here is you want to find a title company or a closing attorney that works with investors. Somebody that's going to be investor friendly, and that's a lot of their business, right? Because they're going to know how to get these deals done, and oftentimes they're going to coach you on what you need to do. It's incredible. Our title companies help us on every single deal, because if something's wrong, they tell us about it, and then we go to work fixing it. That's all we do is solve problems for people. So we're going to get their email, we're going to get their phone number with a contact person, and we're going to build a relationship with them. It's so important to have yourself a relationship with them, because then you can call them and ask them dumb questions, and you can send them over offers that are contracts on properties that you may not close. They may fall apart, and they're not going to get too upset with you as long as you're building that business relationship with them, and of course, hopefully closing deals with them. Title companies are like banks. They only get paid when they're able. Getting kind of dark in here. They only get paid when they're able to help you. If you can't get a deal closed, you don't typically owe a title company any money, right? They only get paid if they can help you. So they, of course, want to help you. They want to get paid too. So how do you coordinate a closing, guys? It's literally the last bullet point. It's that incredibly simple. You're going to send your A to B contract. So you are the buyer. A is your seller. So you're going to send a contract to get control, right? Then you're going to take that contract and you're going to market it out to the public, the ability to buy that property. And how you do that is you simply post pictures with some information about that property. And at the bottom of that listing, you're just going to add in 3 simple words: owner by contract. I usually just put a little asterisk at the bottom and just say owner by contract. That way, anybody that's interested knows that I'm not the owner of it. However, I have control of it. I have it under contract. I have the ability to market it. It's called equitable interest. And it's actually the law. If you have a contract on a property, it's legal to market that property. Or another way to word it would be to market that ability to buy that property. It's awesome. So you're going to send your A to B contract and your B to C contract, which is you selling it to somebody, which could also look like an assignment. Those are both types of contracts. You're going to send it over to your title rep along with your earnest money. And again, I told you earlier, I typically put up $10, maybe $100. Very, very rare that I'll go over $100, just because there's really no need to put up a bunch of earnest money, especially if somebody's motivated. So a really good way to determine if somebody's motivated or not is if they want $2,500 in earnest money or $5,000. If they care enough to see that you have a lot of earnest money, then that means that they're really more worried about you closing on the deal than they are about you helping them solve their problems. All right, such a good gold nugget there. Okay, guys, and that's it. That's the 5 steps. It's so incredibly simple. Now, anybody that attended this free training tonight, I want to give you guys a bonus. Tried to offer this last week, but I had audio issues. We're going to be offering 75% off of the Ultimate Wholesaling course. This is Mike and I's course. You can see here it's got about 20 modules. Everything you know to get started. We typically charge about $997 for this training. And if you guys are interested, we will give you a 75% off. Code to get involved in that. Oh, my offers went away too. Let me find the link here and I can drop it in the chat. And if you guys are interested in that, use coupon code webinar. And again, that will give you guys 75% off. I'm going to drop that link in here. I'm also going to drop a link in here, guys, to book a call with my team. If you are interested in joining our coaching program, man, it got dark in here. If you are interested in joining our coaching program, we have a phenomenal group coaching program. I'm going to be straightforward on these costs, guys. I'm not hiding anything. It's $4,000 for 4 months or $6,500 for the entire year. Now, that's today's rates. Obviously, things can change. Those costs might go up as the group grows, but we are growing fast, and we love helping people. And we actually do group coaching calls twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, for 2 to 3 hours each. So it's not just like you get a limited amount of time. These are Zoom calls with the entire group. I'm sharing my screen. Sometimes students are sharing their screen. We're setting up systems. We're putting auto dialers into place. We're getting texting done. We're pulling leads. We're skip tracing. We're just helping everybody. Everyone's helping each other. Such a great group, guys. All right, it's 6:47. I told you guys I was going to keep this around 45 minutes. I did pretty well tonight. Now, I want to open it up for about 5 minutes before we wrap up here, guys. I want to open it up to just do a little Q&A. So anybody that has any questions about the marketing, right, or about the contract sending or the offer sending or the evaluations, we're going to open that up here for a few minutes. Again, if you are looking to get 75% off that ultimate course, use coupon code webinar, and that will give you guys a 75% discount. And if you're interested in booking a call to learn more about our coaching, our group coaching program, we have payment plans available for that as well. We will definitely help people out by financing it, because I get it. When I first started out, shelling out a couple $1,000 for a coaching program, wasn't necessarily easy to do, but it was worth it. Oh my God, it was so worth it. All right, Cassandra said, could you role play in one of these webinars? Yeah, that's something we could definitely do, Cassandra. This is, I think, my 3rd webinar I've done in 3 years. So I am still learning, and I appreciate you coming on tonight. I love that idea, and that's something that we'll definitely add to the list of things to work on. Great idea. Great idea. Jay said, I finished your course, but I came across an issue. Illinois passed a bill that you can't wholesale. Well, yes and no. Illinois passed a thing about not being able to double close properties. You can still do assignments there, but really what they're trying to do is they're trying to crack down on basically, people that are cluttering up the space and being unhonest for the most part. So Illinois definitely makes it a little bit more difficult, but the easiest way to avoid that is to get your real estate license. And if you're serious about anything, Jay, especially flipping houses, get it. It's not going to take that long. It takes you 40 hours of training online. And if you have a real estate license, you can go flip 1 million houses in Illinois. So I don't disagree. It definitely makes it a little bit more difficult. But like I said from the beginning, guys, it's not going to always be easy. You're going to have to jump through hurdles. You're going to have to spend time marketing. You're going to have to spend money marketing, right? That's how you find these deals. But when you find a deal that cashes a check for $60,000, are you going to look back and be like, man, I don't know if that was worth it. I don't know about you, but I'm sure going to be super happy about that. All right, Brian says, I missed what the ABBC contracts were. Great question. And I didn't do a very good job of explaining that, Brian. So look at the seller as A. We're going to just kind of draw a little diagram here. A, B, C. Motivated seller, wholesaler in the middle, cash buyer. So your A to B transaction is the wholesaler, the investor, buying it, or really not buying it. You're contracting it. You're gaining control with your A to B transaction over here. And then your B to C, B is the investor in the middle. B to C, here's your cash buyer. You're going to have a contract with them. So you're going to have 2 contracts in a wholesale deal. Even if you have an A to B contract with your seller and you want to assign that deal, to where I step out of the way and these two just work together, you still have to have a piece of paper, a contract. So you're going to have an A to B and a B to C. So your B to C could be a purchase and sale contract, selling, or it could be an assignment agreement. So yeah, try to keep it as simple as we can with just using those little diagrams, but I didn't really explain that very well. So good catch. JC says, do title companies help with contracts just to make sure they are legally right? Yeah, yes and no. I mean, they're going to, so we just bought 42 houses 2 weeks ago. We've sold 32 of them already. We got 10 to go. And we used the simplest contract ever. It was probably, I don't know, 7 sentences. It just said the date, the buyer, the seller, the property address, the earnest money, the purchase price, the close date, and then you just sign a date at the bottom of it. So yeah, they're going to help you with contracts, but really they're going to be more, they're going to be more worried about what's in those contracts. If you're looking to use a tool, guys, I'm going to give you a really, really cool tool here. If you guys are looking to use a tool to help generate your offers, you can do this from your cell phone, and you can do this in probably about 3 to 5 minutes. It takes me about 2 minutes to do it because I've done it a bunch. But if you go to the link that I'm going to drop in the chat here, it's going to be an offer generator tool. And this offer generator tool is going to allow you to generate an offer from your cell phone or from your computer, and call it 3 minutes, and it's going to email it to you. And then from there, you take that and download it, and then you can send it to whoever you want. And this is the contract right here that we use. We probably use this contract to buy close to 500 properties. Doesn't matter what state you're in. It's a very generic contract. It's only 2 pages, but oftentimes we'll even use simpler contracts with 1 page. So great question. Title companies, yeah, they can kind of help, but it's not really their goal to help with that. Their goal is really to help close close a transaction by making sure that the seller and the buyer are there and that all the title work is done. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, but let them deal with that. It's not our problem as investors. We are more focused on the marketing. George says, how do you get to making the offer? By asking them what they want, George. Hey, what are you asking for the property? Oh, you're asking for 200 grand. Okay, cool. Well, I'm sorry, I can't afford to pay that, but I could probably pay you like 140 to 150. How does that sound? And if they hang up on you, then move on. They're not motivated to sell. But if they say, I was really looking for like 170, like boom, you're in the ballpark. Cool. When can I see the property? Right? You got to make these offers low, right? The offer, if you're not a little embarrassed when you make a low offer, it's too high. So you have to be really comfortable with making offers to people. And that's it. Like, don't overthink it. Like, that's the scenario that I do every day 100 times. Oh, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I see you have this property for sale for $140,000. I already own a couple in the area. And, the ones I bought for like 90. Do you guys happen to be willing, to sell me a property for maybe 90, maybe 100 at the most here? And if that's the case, then if they like that, if they're in the ballpark, then great. But if they say, no, we're asking 140, the least we can take is 135, well, then hang up the phone and run away from that lead. That's not a motivated seller. Your goal here is to find people that they want your conveniences, guys. We talked about this earlier. If they have a need for your convenience, cash, quick, as is, then they're going to give you a discount. They're going to be more than happy to give you a discount. But if they aren't interested in giving you a discount, then you pull back all that value that you have. Great questions. All right, Brian said thanks. All right, guys, that's it. Let's wrap it up here. I didn't have my polls in here. I didn't have my offers. Man, I am still learning how to do these things, but I'm not going to give up. And I'm running out of light here too. That's okay. I hope you guys enjoyed today's training. If you're interested in our advanced course for 75% off today, guys, use coupon code webinar. There's a link in the chat. If you want to book a call with our team to learn how you can get in our mastermind, we have a couple different options. We have a 4-month option. We have a 12-month option. And again, we do offer financing. All right. So that's going to kind of vary upon, your situation. But of course, we do offer that. So I don't want that to deter people because they may not have all of that, right out of the gate. Not a problem. So that's the first two links that I was able to share with you guys today. And that last link is in a fantastic tool over on discountpropertyinvestor.com. That's where Mike and I host our podcasts. That's where we have additional free courses. I forgot to mention that. There's free courses over there as well. So I hope you guys really learned something. I love doing these trainings. I get so excited. I know you can probably barely see me right now because it's so dark in here. I'll see if I can turn up my screen brightness. Ah, there we go. I love doing these things just because I'm so passionate about real estate, guys. So passionate. I mean, this year we're going to probably have a record year. We've already, it's only March 14th. We've already bought and sold close to 100 houses, which is crazy. But it's so simple, right? I didn't say it's easy. I said it's simple. The steps are that. It's those 5 steps. So the goal for you guys at this point is to start doing some marketing. Start driving for dollars and locating these leads. You know, maybe go pull a list and do some cold calling or some cold text and, you know, send some direct mail. You know, do something. Put some bandit signs out. Do something. Don't keep your business a secret. And you're going to come across a lot of people that are going to waste your time, and they're going to not be interested in selling at a discount, and that's okay. This is a numbers game, right? But what ends up happening is after you talk to 100 people or 200 people, you're going to get a motivated seller on the phone, and they're going to all of a sudden say, you know what, man, I could probably get way more for this, Dave, but I really need to move out of town next week for my job, or I'm getting divorced. I don't even care about this stupid house anymore. You know, or there was a death in the family and I just inherited the house, or I'm widowed and I want to now move to Florida. And I don't really want to deal with real estate agents and time and showings and listings and keeping it clean and all these things, you know? So again, they want those conveniences, right? So there's lots and lots of ways to find these motivated sellers. You just got to get out there and start turning those wheels, guys. Just start taking actions. Pete, George, Alka, thank you guys for attending. Again, I really hope you guys learned something from this. And I'm going to probably get kicked out of this ballroom any second, so I got to hit the road. But stay tuned. We're going to do more of these free trainings. And I'm really happy you guys all came out tonight. Hopefully you guys all learned something. It is truly my passion to teach you guys about how simple it is to flip houses, often with little to none of your own money. All right, guys. Thanks again for coming. Signing off. We'll see you next time.